So let's reproduce what we had yesterday, which is you had done prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, which means you had done crossing over. You had traded alleles between the paired chromosomes of the parent L. Then you had lined the paired chromosomes up in pairs in the middle of the cell, and then flipped 3 of them randomly. Is it 3 or 4? Anyway, yeah, that was independent assortment. Then you moved the pairs of chromosomes apart, and you had 2 piles of chromosomes, and then you drew those chromosomes with their alleles in the little bubbles on the page. That's how far we got, right? Good. Reproduce that. Get those piles going the way they were. Yes, Gavin? So, yeah, just like a glitch. I copied and pasted them. I don't know why they're different. So now we're in, we got through to the end of, oh, I'm on the wrong screen anyway. We got through to the end of meiosis 1, which is also the beginning of meiosis 2. So we are now in prophase 2. Jumble them up. But keep them on the right sides. So you should have 2 piles of chromosomes now, each in their own little area. You good? Scissors, yes, grab them if you need them. Chris, I can walk you through yesterday's stuff in a little while. What do you do now? Moving from prophase 2 into metaphase 2. We line them up, right? So, this time being very careful that they're lined up vertically and not horizontally, because we are about to use scissors again, and you don't want to cut them the wrong way. They can be upside down or right side up, but you don't want them this way when they should be this way, or you'll cut the wrong alleles apart, right? So you should have 2 stacks, 2 columns of chromosomes. Doesn't really matter what order they're in, top to bottom. Doesn't matter if they're right side up or upside down, but they better be vertical and not horizontal. Everybody good? Well, now it's just anaphase 2. You're in metaphase 2 now. Anaphase 2, they pull apart. Well, that's the part you're going to have to do with scissors. Raise your hand if you need a pair of scissors.
It's not orange, brown, orange. I don't know. Mine is pink.
Give you the safety. Well, yeah.
Someone for
You.
we just
You have.
perfect, you know.
My daughter. Place. Got a big letter and a little letter. It should be. You're saying there's like this one. Big L, big L. Oh, you did. You did it.
What did you do?
Oh, We did it when it was past membership.
Okay.
So.
That'll make you a little less. That'll make your.
Okay,
So you're next one of my babies.
You're gonna yell at three spots or flip them out.
Okay.
Then you're gonna separate into the signs.
Okay. My office.
My hope is makes me grow up. I'll president. No, it's really good.
So when I start, it's not.
All right. Are we cut? Are we split? Here, I'll do it too. Yeah. Make sure you keep track of which column is which. When you're done, you should have 4 different columns. So when you're done with these splits, you've got 4 columns of half chromosomes, right? But not half really, because remember we copied everything before we started dividing. That was S phase. So this is it. What you've got now are the contents of the 4 sperm or eggs that your elf is going to make. Go ahead and get them in their own little piles. And you've got 4 separate cells that you're now going to draw in the 4 separate bubbles at the bottom of your paper. Just like you did in the 2 bubbles at the top, right? Getting all the letters correct. Make sure you get all the alleles correct. Little stick V's for chromosomes are fine. Just get the letters right. Before you start drawing, by the way, go ahead and number those circles 1, 2, 3, and 4 left to right.
It's on you.
I don't know my dick.
As you draw, I will be distributing dice. I've got 1 more dice roll. If you haven't already, number those circles that you're drawing inside. Number them 1 through 4. Left to right. One through 4. Because your parent elf just made 4 sperm or egg cells, and they're about to roll the genetic dice as far as which sperm or egg is going to be a part of the little elf baby. Okay, right now, just without, keep doing what you're doing. But if your elf is female, raise your hand and keep it up for a while. Female elves, raise your hand. Don't write on this sheet. This is just for me to see visually where I'm at in organizing. Just keep it where it's at. Female elves, keep your hands up.
They would do this. Like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is Brian. Okay, ready? Here's what we do. We're gonna actually choose which sperm or egg makes it before we actually choose a mate here. You're gonna roll both dice once. Roll your dice. And then write the number you get where it says die roll. So write the number that you roll where it says die roll. And then look at the instructions at the top. It says, the very bottom of the instructions, 1, 2, or 3. Of course, there's no 1. So 2 or 3 means you chose gamete number 1. You can go ahead and just circle whichever gamete you chose. 4, 5, or 6 means you circle gamete number 2. 7, 8, or 9 is number 3. 10, 11, or 12 is number 4. Circle the one you chose, and then you can write down the number of the one you chose where it says gamete chosen. That's what's going into the baby. Now we just got to pair you up. All right, let's not. You've all rolled. You all know who your elf co-parent is. Yeah? So here's how it works. Flip this page over, and you'll see columns of blanks that say from mom and from dad. It's not as bad because you're just going to look at whichever pile you chose, whichever circle you chose, it has all the right letters in it. Just put the right letters in the right blanks. In other words, whichever E, capital or lowercase, was in that gamete that you rolled, that goes in the, if you're mom, it goes in the from mom blank. If you're dad, it goes in the from dad blank. Figure yours out first, and then just put your papers next to each other and copy over your mate's letters, and you'll have the 2 letters. Once you get that done, you can make the genotypes, putting the correct, capital letter before the lowercase letter if they're hetero. And then you can write phenotypes, and then you've got what your little baby elf's going to look like. We'll talk about drawing it. Okay, go ahead. Remote. Whoa, it's dropped you. Remote students. I will have a female gamete and a male gamete chosen for you. You will just need to do this activity through on your side, and then use the gamete that I give you on the other side and make your baby that. Okay?
It's probably not the end of the world.
Make it happen. All right, so once you have letters, you can make genotypes. All you're gonna have to do is, the only change that would be if mom was a lowercase letter and dad was a capital letter, it'll say like little e, big E. You'll just switch those for genotype, it'll big E, little e. And then phenotype is, well, that would be what? That would be detached earlobes if it was big E, little e. So you write what it looks like in the phenotype stack, and once you have all the phenotypes, you're ready to draw. These better be some good looking little elf babies. I'm looking for stuff to put on my cabinets. Draw them good. Also, if you did a really awesome job on your parent elves, I'm going to be going through those digitally. I might print a couple of them off and put those up on the cabinets. Let me know if that's something you don't want me to do. If your elf is very personal to you and you don't want them displayed before the entire class, let me know. But yeah, there should be some elves up before too long. You have until Tuesday to really put some good stuff into your elf, little baby elves. And the fun part for me is that you're both drawing, theoretically, you're both drawing the same kid. It's like your interpretation of your kid, so it's hilarious. Again, they need to show all the phenotypes, okay? Again, I'm not rating your artistic ability, but I will rate effort a little bit. We don't do stick figures, okay? Draw a little baby elf with all the right phenotypes, okay? Due Tuesday. You have the rest of the time to work.